Good people of YouTube, I'm the Watch Idiot, and happy 4th of July for those who are watching here in the US of A. And hopefully this long weekend has been going great. And for those who aren't in the US, I hope you guys are having a great random Sunday in July. But anyways, today is a kind of different video because this is one that I've actually been wanting to do for quite a long time. So I have done a couple of videos on the PRX. One was my very first one on the quartz PRX, and then the second one was a comparison between the quartz and the automatic one. So check those out if you want to get more specific details on those watches. You know, I made it very clear in those videos that I absolutely love the PRX, and I love especially this quartz version. One of the biggest negatives that I had about the quartz one is the fact that the second hand does not quite land perfectly on the markers, which is a problem because it really ought to, because there are watches that are much cheaper than this Tissot PRX, and in the end this is a Swatch Group watch, so I feel like, you know, perfectly set hands isn't really too much to ask for. But there was a commenter in the first video. Basically they said along the lines, you know, like, if I got one, you know, I would definitely take off the second hand. And that really got me thinking. In this video, I'm gonna show you guys how to take the second hand off the quartz PRX, you know, if it's misaligned, or, you know, if you just don't like seeing the ticking second hand, which I'm sure a lot of people out there don't like. And then we're gonna see what it's like outside in real life and how much of a difference it makes in real life. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of videos out there to how to remove hands and stuff like that, but I always think that it's a lot easier and much more helpful to actually see the exact watch that you're dealing with in a video with the exact processes over there. So just to make sure there's no doubts about it. Okay, so disclaimer time over here. So I don't have any watchmaking experience, you know, other than, you know, watching, you know, videos of watchmakers here on YouTube. And yeah, this is my first time going into the dial side of the watch, you know, and taking off hands. So overall, it is a really easy process, but do this obviously at your own risk. You know, if you have any doubts about it, or if you don't want to risk any damage, you know, obviously take it to a watchmaker who's going to be, you know, far better at it than I will be. And also, I have no idea what it's going to do to the warranty. Oh, and also I don't have my normal level of commentary over here in this video because I was doing it live for the very first time. So I was really concentrating on that. So yeah, with all that out of the way, let's get into it. Here's the PRX with the misaligned second hand. As you can see, is just going off to the side of it, just to the right of the markers. Anyway, so yeah, let's get into it, but let's just go over what exactly we're gonna need. We're gonna need a case back opener over here. Oh, also, by the way, every single tool that I show you, I have links to them, all of them down below over here, just to make things a little bit easier. And the second most important thing is probably gonna be this hand removal tool, and then just a normal spring bar tool over here, because we're gonna need to poke into a little bit of hole to be able to get the crown and the stem out. Okay, and then the other thing is that I'm gonna use a case holder just to be able to keep everything secure. And all these things are not very expensive. I mean, you can get all these things in the single digits, and then if not, like in the teens. Oh my good god, that's a light gone. Okay, and finally, it's gonna be this tool over here, which is gonna be to push the snap-on case back on. This just makes it easier because it applies even pressure throughout the entire thing, and I use this tool over here for putting back bezels whenever I switch it off of my SKX and things like that. Yeah, definitely kind of nervous actually taking it off. It should be simple enough, but this is still my first time doing this. Yeah, taking this off should be pretty easy. Let's see what happens. But here we go. Come on. Ay. Oh boy, oh there you go. There you have it. You just saw that live over here. Okay, so I've had time to gather my thoughts. Okay. There it is. There it is. Get in there. Okay. So This is clearly the tool, because this was extremely easy doing with this one. Save yourself some time and just get this for like, I think it was like $7 or something like that. So I mean, definitely worth it. Let's take a look inside of it and see what it looks like. Not too bad looking, I guess. Actually, before we do anything, let's get the battery out over here, just so that nothing's running while we're fiddling around with anything, and then we're not going to be ruining the movement over here. So I'm going to take it off with this over here. Here's the battery. Obviously keep this separately in a nice little area. Now the next step is going to be to get rid of the stem over here so we can actually pop it out, the entire movement out to get to the front. We're going to be looking at putting inside this hole over here. We're going to push this in, and this is gonna, when we have to pull this out at the same time. And then put this all the way back in. Okay, there it is. One thing that I got wrong is that the stem is supposed to be all the way in the absolute closed position to push it and take it out. There it is. Obviously be very careful with this one because it is quite delicate. Okay, so now that we got the crown out over here, now it's time to get the movement out. And the easiest way to go about it is to put something in this portion over here. So where you see the crown, where the crown is over here, the little gap over there. So that's a perfect spot to be able to put probably the same thing that you put in over there, or tweezers, something like that. Stick it in that little gap over there, and then just use that to pry it open just over here. And there it is. Now it's out, as you can see over here. And then just take it out from over there. There it is. That's awesome. I feel like a watchmaker now. Okay, so now I'm gonna put it in this movement holder over here. So now it's secure. Okay, now it's time to get into the hand removal, and this is the hand removal tool that we showed a little bit before over here. And yeah, so basically the way that this works is this mouth over here latches on underneath the actual second hand itself, and obviously the pinion is going to be going through over there. And then what you do is that you press here and it goes down. So pretty much, as you can see over here, that little screw in the middle is pushing down on the top of the second hand. And now as you're pushing down, you keep on pushing down, and these white plastic tabs are going to be pushing against the dial itself and pushing it off and popping it off over there. So at that point, everything is just all the pressure is equally applied. I would say that this is quite important because these are such tiny little hands and pieces over here that you can damage it quite easily. It's gonna go in between the second hand over there. As you can kind of see over there, there's a little bit of a gap. There it is. It did the job. Here is that wee tiny second hand, and you can do whatever you want with it. So yeah, there we have it. The first sign of a second handless quartz movement, which is awesome. It does look pretty clean. So okay, so now we're just gonna reverse all the steps. One thing that I do to get off tiny little bits of dust is I cut the back ends of my NATO straps off, and these actually are really nice because the back ends of it that you cut off has a very fine and tight brush to it. Well, I don't know if that's the right word, and it is quite helpful to get rid of any dust over here. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Oh boy, okay, I'm not doing the best job. So pretty much got everything out of it, and let's put this back in over here. And here we go. I'm sure there's a better way of doing this. And push. Okay, and this is how you just put it back in, and you don't have to insert the safety pin to unlock that over there. It just keeps it open by itself. And just put it in over here, and you'll feel it just There it is. There we go. Yep, everything's lined up. Okay, perfect. All right, there we go. Now it's just time to put the battery back in, and then we're good to go. Where do my pliers go? There it is. It's ticking away. You could use Braun Power to just smash this in and push it in over here, and it's probably going to work just because this is a friction fit case back over here, but it is going to be a little bit easier if you have one of these, I guess what it's called, yeah, the case back closers. I use this to put bezels on as well. So basically what it does is that there's going to be equal pressure throughout the entire top end over here, and as you're pushing it in, it's going to seat very, very nicely the first time around. So let's get in and let's do that over here, and let's just line this up. Oh, and then of course make sure that the red gasket is perfectly seated as well. So we're gonna put this in over here, lay it flat down. There it is, and apply the pressure downwards. As you can see over here, apply it down and just close it, and go ahead and apply some pressure on that. There it is. It's all the way in. So yeah, there we have it. It is the first ever quartz PRX without a seconds hand, which is awesome. Okay, so now we're back and we finally have a Tissot PRX with a seconds hand delete mod on it, I guess we can call it. I must say that I was expecting it to look better, but I wasn't expecting it to, you know, overall to be this different. And so immediately at that point too, the moment I took it off, it just changed completely. So I personally don't mind, you know, the ticking seconds hand, but I do mind it when it doesn't line up perfectly, because it really did cheapen an otherwise really high quality watch. So now without the seconds hand, it looks way more refined, like way more refined. And yeah, I mean, the simplicity of the dial is accentuated because now it's only the Tissot name 1853 and PRX on the dial and the hands and the date. But I mean, you get what I'm saying. There's less going on the dial now that there's a little bit less metal on it. Metal. Now that there's a little bit less metal on it. And actually, I would say that the overall character of the watch has changed quite a bit. Previously, I guess it had a slightly faster pace about it. It felt more pressurized just because each tick came along so strongly, but now it just feels super relaxed because you can't tell how quickly or slowly time is passing. And in a way, it almost feels like time is standing still because as you're staring at the dial, you can barely tell that the minute hand is moving. I've never owned a watch without a seconds hand before. This is gonna be a new experience, and I'm glad that it's with the PRX just because it does suit this watch really, really well. I don't know if it would have worked on something else that's more sporty or something like that. Maybe this is the way to go for the second generation Tissot if you're watching it. So there you have it. And yeah, please do let me know what you guys think about it, you know, whether or not it's something that you would do to your watch or to a PRX, or if you actually have done it and how you think of how you think it is and how you think it went. Of course, if you did enjoy the video or found it helpful, you know, to follow along and, you know, do what I did in the video, please do hit the like button because that helps immensely. It helps the channel immensely. And also, if you want to see other videos and you want to see a little bit more about me in the watches that I review, yeah, please do hit the subscribe button and the notification bell for that matter. And if you want to get a better sense of who I am as a collector, you know, you can check out the other videos, but I also did a state of the collection video about 2 weeks ago, so which is pretty much my life in a video, I guess, because watches are my life. So there it is. And yeah, until the next video, good day.